This webinar is recorded and made available in an accessible alternative format. If you require captioning, transcription, or other communication services, to access this webinar, please contact Disability Resource Center, DRC, at drc@snhu.edu or 877-591-4723. Select option 4. The purpose of this video is to help you with Checkpoint 1. This is a very important assignment for you because you get 100 points just for submitting it on time. It doesn't have to be correct. You'll get feedback to help you correct your errors. You get free points just for submitting the assignment on time. So what's due? The final Project 1 worksheet, steps 1 through 4, which consist of journal entries for July, August, and September, and T accounts. How do you get started? Go to the Course Information tab, click on the Assignment Guidelines and Rubrics link, and you'll see the documents for the final project. Download and open the Accounting Cycle Worksheet Instructions file and the Accounting Cycle Worksheet file. When you open the Worksheet Instructions Word document, you'll first see an overview of the project. Scroll down and you'll start to see instructions for each step. Scroll all the way to the end of the document and you'll find wage calculation data. You'll need this information for transactions that accrue and pay employee wages. Be sure to print the entire document so you have it when you're doing the checkpoint. Open the Accounting Cycle Worksheet Excel file. Go first to the Chart of Accounts page to see which accounts you have to work with. Remember that every organization uses different accounts. This page tells you the accounts for Paid and Approved, the company in our project. You might want to print out this page so you know which accounts you have to work with. Go to July and get started. You'll see that the first entry is already done for you. Let's go through this transaction. You take $15,000 from your personal savings account and buy common stock and Paid and Approved. We see the entry. The company now has an increase in cash, so we debit cash for $15,000. The company also has an increase in common stock, so we credit common stock for $15,000. Note that the debits and credits equal. Every transaction will have debits and credits that equal. I repeat, every transaction will have debits and credits that equal. July is step 1. Once you finish all of the transactions in July, please feel free to email your file to your instructor for review. If you do this by the end of Module 2, you'll get feedback and be in good shape to complete the checkpoint by the end of Module 3. Step 2 is August, and Step 3 is September. Here are a few tips to remember in the transactions. If the description has the word pay, that means cash was spent, so you want to reduce cash. When you see the words on account, that means there is either an accounts payable if we are the ones purchasing something on account, or an accounts receivable if one of our customers bought items on account. Some transactions will tell you which accounts to use. For example, the July 11 transaction says, purchase a cash register for $250, deemed to be not material enough to qualify as depreciable equipment. Use miscellaneous expense. The problem tells you to use miscellaneous expense for the cash register. And of course, purchase means buy. There's no wording saying it's on account, so that tells us we used cash. When you see the wording received a bill, but we're not paying until later, we have an accrued expense. That means we're going to record an expense with a debit and record a payable. Accrued means record an expense and record a payable. Step 4 is where we transfer our journal entries to T accounts. You see the first transaction from July is also included in the T accounts. Now I know you're asking, where can I see an example? MyLab Module 1 Problem 4. You completed this problem at the end of Module 1. This problem is similar to our case. Parts 1 and 2, journalizing transactions and recording T accounts, are similar to our steps 1 through 4. There's a MyLab to Excel video in the ACC201 YouTube channel. These videos take you from the Module 1 Problem 4 problems in MyLab and show you how to do them in Excel, just like in the project. For example, the journal entries from Problem 4 would look like this in Excel. This is how your July, August, and September should look, with different numbers and accounts, of course. Continuing with that problem, your T accounts will look like this. Note balances at the bottom of each account. You should have balances at the bottom of each of your accounts. Now I hear you, you're asking, but where can I get help on the journal entries? Well, obviously your textbook. Each chapter walks you through transactions, how to understand them, what to debit, what to credit, etc. There are also summary problems at the end of each chapter that work through a full problem. For example, you see there is one starting on page 97 in chapter 2. Move to page 98 and you see the requirements are similar to the checkpoint. You're given transactions to journalize and put into T accounts, then you're given solutions at the end of the problem. Chapter transaction example files. In Module 1 and 2, your instructor will post Word documents that have examples from the chapters pulled and listed for you. Download these files to your hard drive and print them when you're doing your checkpoint. Here is an example from the Chapter 2 transaction example file. It's not making sense. What do I do now? There are more resources available if you need more personal help. There's webinars and tutors. Click on the tutoring information link in your Blackboard class to find out about webinars and tutors. There are learning communities. Click on this and you'll be taken to a learning community that is administered by a faculty member who can answer your questions. You'll see other accounting students in there too, and you can communicate with them. Your instructors. Remember, your faculty are always happy to answer questions. Really, we are. So to recap, Module 3 checkpoint, 100 points for submitting it on time. You then get feedback. There's a lot of help available. And remember, you can do this.